Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another hot episode of Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise. I am your host with the most megastar Outlandish, Zicky Dice. And I gotta tell you, chat, Twitch Sports, if you're watching on Twitch Sports, go ahead and hit that follow button. Come on over to twitch.tv/Zicky Dice and chit-chat with the sauce, baby! That's what I'm talking about, Tokyo.
Outlandish.
That's right, OUTTTLANDISS and Drew Gulak with the raid. Drew, I hope you had an awesome stream on Twitch Sports. Thank you to Twitch Sports for having us once again. I got to be honest with you, I'm not feeling the best today. I'm a little bit crabby, and I guess that's appropriate because I'm here at the beach and there's sand all around me. Yes, it's going to be hard for me to type. It's going to be hard for me to do things with these crab hands because what happened last night at Primetime Live. I am not your television champion anymore. As of last night, the United Wrestling Network, Primetime Live, I was robbed by the Pope. I attacked him before the match started from behind. And I didn't think there was going to be a match, but somehow he climbed himself back in the ring and somehow ended up on top. So my 231-day, let me get that right, 231-day title run has ended, okay? And this falls on Billy Corgan's hands. You know who Billy Corgan is? He sings in that, he sings in that terrible Smashing Pumpkins band. Yeah, that guy is my boss, and he decided to put Pope in a title match against me when Pope didn't even do anything to earn a title shot. And now I lost my championships. Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins do suck. Well, without any further ado, I guess it's time for our special guest, the Hurricane Shane Helms. Chat, get ready for this one. Today's show is guaranteed to be outlandish. Oh my gosh. But we're live! Welcome to Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise, baby.
Hey, man, I like it, man. I feel like, though, I should be selling hamburgers in here, for the notorious hamburger jokes that I get still 20 years later. But I'll take hot dogs.
You get hamburger jokes? Oh, gosh. I mean, you know what? You should have brought the hamburgers. I didn't know about the hamburger jokes, or else I would have played off that. I apologize.
You missed the part where I worked The Rock, and he called me the Hamburglar. It's only one of the biggest moments of my career, but I appreciate you not knowing about it.
I forgot. I forgot. Forgive me. Oh my gosh, chat. Hey, not Spider-Man, thank you so much for the bits. He's here. Have you ever been on Twitch before?
Yeah. I actually started a channel a couple months back, but I didn't stick with it. I got too many other platforms that I do, and I don't play games a lot, so I was kind of just going to do watch-alongs with the shows, but I just don't have the free time. I'm too expired.
I feel that. I appreciate you joining us here today. Listen, it's been tough. We don't play much games either, so what we do, we bring on special guests. We shoot the crap a little bit, and we have a little bit of fun. Dude, the Helms Rock segment was gold, just your average gent says. Thank you so much. So, well, what else have you been up to? I know you're busy as can be, so what have you been doing to fill your time? I know it's a cliche quarantine question, but I must know.
Actually, something I've wanted to do for many, many years. I've always been interested in writing, so I took like a online writing class in this free time with an author that I'm a huge fan of, and I'm finally diving into some writing projects. Before anybody asks, no, it's not about me. Because I get the question, when are you going to write your book and all of that. I'm just not that into myself that I can devote that much time talking about myself to write my own book. I want to write about other characters and stuff like that. So right now I'm heavy into the research phase, which is way more time consuming than I thought it was going to be, but I'm enjoying the process.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I used to write some poetry back in the day and some music here and there, like lyrics, and that's about the extent of that. And that was frustrating enough for me. You know what I mean? So I commend you on that. What are some of your favorite books?
Like of all time, like I got like Stephen King's entire collection, Dean Koontz. As far as the comic books, Shane Helms fans know I'm over 18,000, probably getting closer to 19,000 and that's not counting graphic novels. As far as regular novels, I probably got 600 or 700 laying around the house. I'm just
wow.
I just read constantly. So
Wow. Okay, I'm sure I know the answer to this, but let's see if the chat knows. Who is your favorite superhero of all time?
of all time, Black Adam.
Wow. Mine's Spider-Man. Can't lie.
Why Spider-Man?
You know,
Any particular reason
just
why?
him being young and wise. I like a good witty Spider-Man, and not to mention I grew up watching a lot of the Spider-Man cartoons back in the day and was drawn immediately. I played Maximum Carnage on the Super Nintendo, drawing me in. Venom's a close second, you know, and then Gambit is another one of my favorites superheroes. But dude, I was always stuck to Spider-Man. You know, I used to get made fun of my Batman friends.
I almost got to read for Gambit. I was this close.
Really?
Yeah, the producer of X-Men 2. I was on set for X-Men 2. And me, the producer, and a couple of the writers went out for lunch. And anytime I was in Hollywood, LA, you know, when I would go into these different meetings, everybody liked my accent. You know, it's weird because that's one of the things coming up that I would get picked on for, because I'm from North Carolina, but I don't talk like I'm from North Carolina. I don't know where the fuck it comes from. And but in situations like that, it's something that people always pick up on. And everybody assumes I'm from New Orleans or from that area, which I'm not at all. But I just get that more than any other accent. And so anyway, the producer liked my accent, and he goes, "You could be Gambit." And I go, "I could be Gambit." And he goes, "You want to read for it?" And I go, "Fuck yeah." So I was all excited.
Yeah, of course.
And,
of course.
I even bought some books and was studying these videos on how to use cards, like playing cards, to try to figure out some tricks and shit.
Yeah.
But then the creative team from X-Men left the franchise to go do whatever that Superman movie was with Brandon Ralph. And they never went back. So I missed the opportunity. Not saying I would even have gotten the role, but I was going to get to read for it, and that would have been cool in and of itself.
You know what? If I close my eyes, I hear a damn good Gambit. I'm not going to lie. I think it could have happened. Dang.
I did it.
Well, I got to know.
In a different world.
I got to know. That's right. In a perfect world. I'm a little crabby. I'm not going to lie. So you're going to have to forgive me. I was robbed last night. I had my television championship for 231 days, and I lost it last night to the Pope. So I'm a little upset. But I guess maybe we can talk a little bit of wrestling, you know? I would like to know. I sure as hell watched the Hurricane growing up. What are some of your – give me – let's go your top favorite wrestling moment that you've had in your career. What's something that comes to mind right off the bat? Because you've done a lot of impressive things.
Yeah, that's the good thing with my career. I was really blessed. I got to work with idols and like legends and stuff. So there's a lot to choose from in that regard in terms of moments. You know, I mean, The Rock thing stands out. If you ask my fan base, they're going to say The Rock probably pretty much across the board. But for me, working with Flair, anytime I got to work with Flair, that was great because I was such a Flair mark when I was a kid. Still am, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
You know, Undertaker, of course. Anytime I got to work with Matt and Jeff, because, you know, we did the indies together, and then I went to WCW and they went to the WWF at the time, and we weren't sure we would ever work on the big stage together. But then we ended up doing that. So, I mean, there's a lot. You know, I got to do a couple cool things with Steve Austin, a couple things with Hulk Hogan. So, I mean, you know, the names that I got to work with were pretty cool.
All right. What other favorite match you've ever had? What's one of your favorite matches? You know what? You come up lately on a lot of, there's a lot of old Shane Helms stuff that comes up, dude. That goes around like the wrestling Twitter and everything. I see some old like classic combos you got. You're pretty smooth in there, man. Pretty talented.
Yeah. Most of that shit I put up. I put up myself.
Yeah.
Like that's
I'm glad you do.
That's what's so cool about the network though, because if you think about, like, I went to WWE in 2001. That's 19 years ago. You know, so there's kids today that could have missed all of that. So that's why it's such a cool thing that you have the network. You can go back, because I first thought about this one time. I was at a signing with Carlito, and this dad was bringing up his kid, and the dad talked to the kid. He goes, "Yeah, hey, Carlito beat John Cena for the U.S. title," and you saw the kid light up. And then he pointed to me and said, and he beat The Rock. And you saw the kid like, what? So this kid didn't have any idea who he was. But then he became a fan. And so I remember getting a message on Twitter from that dad. He goes, yeah, I went home and showed my kid some of your stuff. And now he's a big fan. So, I mean, that's something that was hard to do when I was a kid. You know, we didn't have nothing like that. We didn't even barely had VCRs. I mean, back in those days, you know, so to be able to use the network. So that's what I do on social media. If I see an old clip or something, I say, hey, man, that's pretty smooth. Because a lot of times for me, I'm not going to put up moonsaults, and I'll throw some of the big spots out there here and there. But like the little detailed things are what I like to put up. Say, hey, check this out. Because, you know, one of the things I do in my seminars universally is try to tell people to fix the small things. If you fix your small things, it's going to make your big things look even better.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to take one of your seminars. Not even going to lie to you. Sign me up. That sounds great. When you came up with the Hurricane character, was that you who came up? Did you pitch that, or was that something presented to you?
No, that was presented to me. You know, I was 7 years as an amateur wrestler. You know, so the kind of style you saw me do when I was Sugar Shane, that was my style.
Yeah.
What you saw is Gregory Helms when I had the heel turn. That was who I wanted to be. But they were looking for characters in the WWE at the time, things to do with all the WCW guys they had brought in. So I was always wearing comic book shirts. I got the Green Lantern tattoo on my shoulder. And that whole thing started because I did a skit with Steve Austin one time backstage. And when he asked me about the tattoo, I just started talking about the Green Lantern like it was a real person, you know, and really just trying to make this skit entertaining because I don't know what Steve's going to say. You know, and I tell people, they're like, what do you mean you know what he's going to say? Well, he's Steve Austin. He can say what the fuck he wants. I'm just trying not to mess up. You know, this is like my first promo with WWE, and it's with the biggest star in the business. You know, so it's like right in the deep end. Don't mess up, kid. And so anyway, I just started talking about the Green Lantern like it was a real person, and then like in the following weeks, they would come up to me and was like, all right, we got a promo, but just kind of start going off into one of your comic book stories. Because one of the writers knew I was a comic book fan, and he had wanted to do a superhero type character, but he never found the right guy. And I guess they assumed I was the right guy, and they pitched the idea to me. Stephanie McMahon did. And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. You know, and that was 2001, and I'm still the Hurricane now, so something worked along the way.
So I got to ask, what's your take on empty arena wrestling? How do you feel about it?
I fucking hate it.
Me too.
It's like training. Yeah, it's like training, man. You know, like especially when you're coming up, you're going through these matches and you're trying to visualize what the crowd will react to, and that's the closest thing I can compare it to. But you know, nothing else, no other form of sport or entertainment has the engagement that we have with the audience. You know, we need that feedback. It's just not the same. You know, I think that WWE's done good things with the Thunderdome. AEW's done some good stuff with how they've had some of the wrestlers around the ring just to give us a little something. But you need that noise. Some sports it doesn't bother me in. MMA, I actually prefer it. You know, you know, being able to hear the corners shout instructions and hear the coaches and stuff like that, that's pretty cool. But for pro wrestling, man, we need our fans. They're a big part of the equation of what makes us special.
100%. I played in a touring band before this, and that's my drug of choice. You know what I'm saying? Is that live entertainment, getting that live interaction. And it's a whole lot different. And you know what? I'll be honest. I spent a lot of time wrestling in empty arenas before it was a thing, you know, before quarantine. You know, there's just no fans. And it's the worst. You know what I mean? It's the worst. So we keep on going. What's your favorite match of all time that you're not involved in?
Of all time, Savage and Steamboat from WrestleMania 3 to me still is the one I would show people, newer fans. Also, it's Flair and Steamboat when Flair won the title back in 1989, which I guess was Wrestle War 89 or whatever it was called. Those two are my favorite. They both involve Steamboat, but strangely enough, you know, Savage and Flair were the two guys that I studied the most, and that's who I wanted to be.
Yes, absolutely. You still get the itch to hop in the ring?
Oh yeah. You know, like when I went back to WWE as a producer, I never like really retired. You know, they let me finish my dates, and there was always the talk of, yeah, we might do something here and there, but then I got heavy into the producing thing, and it was weird because I would have to go and see a ring a couple times a week and not be able to get in there. And so that was like kind of a mind game. And but now, like when the whole COVID thing hit, I'm sitting at home, so I got back in shape. So I'm getting close to being back ready to go. So if things open back up, I'm gonna go ahead and take some dates and see what happens. But I ain't got that much. I got a little bit left in the tank, but I ain't got a lot. So I'm gonna have to be, you know,
I want a piece. I want a piece. Twitch Sports, make it happen. Book the match. We'll do it live on Twitch. I want a piece before we call it a day. Well, I mean, what do you think, Chad? Would you want to see Zicky Dice versus a Hurricane or what? I mean, Jesus Christ, it's like a family reunion in here, TV and Christopher. Good to see everyone. Welcome. If you have Amazon Prime, don't forget you can subscribe to the channel for free by linking your Amazon Prime right here to your Twitch. You never would have thought. Well, Hurricane, you mind if we open up, take a few questions from the chat? See what the chat's got to say. Don't worry, I'll vet these ones. Good. Make sure you're not anyone's dad here. Oh, someone asked, okay, in WCW 3 count, were you singing? Were you guys really singing?
No, I did the rapping part.
Hell yeah.
We all sang, and I was in the chorus, but I didn't sing anything else. But the little lines, the rapping, I did sing and wrote those.
Sick. Love it. I love it. Well, do you still rap?
Not very well.
Yeah, I hear you. I like to freestyle and stream every once in a while. Wrestling with the MMA asks, Hurricane, do you still talk to Tank Abbott?
I saw Tank at Starcast 2 in Vegas. Was the last time. Starcast, maybe 3, I don't know. One of the ones. One of the Starcasts. The one that was in Vegas, I saw Tank there. We reconnected, and we stay in touch on social media. I don't like giving him a phone call or anything like that. But I had a good time with Tank. Tank was a wild, he was kind of a scary guy to hang around with at times. I didn't drink, and he drank a lot. And when the vodka would start flowing, you didn't know what Tank was going to come out. And so I didn't like hang around him too much in that regard. I was wary.
Yeah. That's probably for the best, right? Quickly, Johnson asked, what do you think of the name Typhoon Terry?
It is a name. It is a name. Depends on what you're going for, a little natural disaster action. There has been a typhoon before, so you got some shoes to fill, but it's not a bad name.
That's what I'm saying. I think that it's how you make the name. I'll be honest. I say this all the time. There's some good bands out there with some terrible names, but you think about, okay, they write a hit song, they make the name, so it's up to you. Typhoon Terry. What do I think? I think it's never mind. I think it's great. Which wrestler, past or present, do you respect the most and why?
Oh man, there's a bunch. I don't want to pick one I respect the most, but there's been so many of the legends that icons that helped me unselfishly. Even in WCW, Hogan and Flair gave me advice that just came in there. Sting, DDP, and you would hear all these nightmare stories about WCW band, but I had nothing but good stories. And coming to WWE, Austin, Undertaker, these guys were great. Rock was absolutely, all the stuff I did with Rock wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for him. He pushed for it. So there's just so many that I got so much respect for.
That's so cool. Do you keep a lot of memorabilia? I can see in your background. I do a lot of the same. Do you have a lot of cool stuff you've collected over the years?
Well, because I do all the podcasts, and I needed a background, and I didn't.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't have a cool little setup like you did, so I just hung pictures of them. Yeah, I got a lot of memorabilia. I never really sold any of it. I still got all my 3 count outfits. I got all my Hurricane outfits. So I got everything. I don't have a shrine in my house though. This is just one little corner.
Sure.
My family though will hang stuff up. My woman, and when we got together, because I was single when we got together, and she just went and hung up a bunch of pictures, and she did some cool things, and that's fine that she did it, but I wasn't going to do it myself. I didn't want people to come over and feel like I had a shrine to myself hanging in my house.
Yeah, I feel you. I am getting married this Saturday and moving across country, and as we were packing up, I had to fight to keep a lot of my memorabilia and things that she thought was junk. So I feel ya. I feel ya. What's the most outlandish thing that you've gotten from a fan? Val Pancakes asks. Anything come to mind?
I mean, like when I used to have my post office box, I did have a post office box for a long time when I was at like the peak of my popularity. And like I would get panties and bras and all kinds of crazy things, sexual stuff like that, toys and shit.
Yeah.
Like I really wouldn't know where it was coming from sometimes. You know, one time I know I got this, this was kind of scary. I got a photo album that somebody had sent me, and it was of all these pictures of me, like just in casual situations where this person had taken these pictures of me. And I still don't know. Yeah. And so I think about stuff like that. So whenever I hear stories, you know, but for me, I wasn't afraid that anything would happen. And so like when, like, it was a real opening moment for me to hear about some of the ladies in our industry that feel threatened all the time because of the physical aspects, because they couldn't fight nobody off. And I was, you know, and I was always like, man, I've had all this weird shit happen to me too. But the difference was that I wasn't afraid that anything would happen. I could fight this person off. I feel like if I needed to.
Yeah.
But there's been there's a lot of creepy shit that, you know, I love my fans to death, but fan isn't short for fantastic. It's short for fanatic. And that isn't 100% a good thing. You know, there are some that go overboard.
Being known for having some innovative moves, was there any past wrestler you looked up to that attributed to that in any way?
That attributed?
Attributed, yes.
Anytime somebody was super creative, you know, that's always stood out to me. I remember seeing Muda for the first time and being blown away. I remember seeing Two Coat Scorpio, a guy who doesn't get the credit he deserves, and be like, oh, shit. I got to step up my game if I'm going to be a high flyer, because this guy's another level. And he's still at another level now. Seeing Jushin Liger for the first time. Anybody that would show me something I hadn't seen before, I always paid attention to. So when I got to WCW, you know, I had already started calling myself the sensation of innovation on the indies anyway. And Canyon was there, and he was the innovator of offense. And that was one of the things that made that drew me and Canyon together, and we became friends off of that, like friendly little competition of who could create the most moves or the newest move.
Wow, that's great. I love to hear that.
Highway to Helms is the one that I'm most known for. I started that in 2010. I was live streaming before people even had the term live streaming, and it was just something to more connect with the fans. You know, my website, ShaneHelms.com, predates websites. I had that when it was just message boards were a thing. You probably were in middle school when that thing came out. That's how long it's been out. And Highway to Helms, the newest version that I do is I don't have guests. It's just me talking about life, different things, whatever. I devote a segment to comic books because I still think that's the most underappreciated medium out there in terms of entertainment. You know, that and pro wrestling. So those are my two loves, and that's mainly what the podcast is about. And then the other one with the Pro Wrestling Report on Fight TV, that one we do Thursday nights, me and two other guys, and we talk about the Wednesday Night War, AEW, and NXT, and we also throw some Impact in there, throw a little bit of Ring of Honor when it starts to come back. I'm sure we'll talk about NWA when it gets up and running again, but that's more of a general wrestling podcast.
I hear that. You're going to have to excuse me for a second. QWO with 2,100 bits, baby! Do you have a favorite indie comic book?
The best indie thing I read recently was Dark Horse, and I don't know if Dark Horse is considered an indie, but they got a hold of the original script for the Alien movie. I don't know if you remember the Alien, the Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
They got the original screenplay, and of course, like the screenplay gets adapted to the big screen, and there's all these changes that they make to go to the big screen. Well, they did a comic book about the original screenplay, and I was such a fan of that franchise anyway, that seeing all these little changes on the comic book pages is just very, very cool. and that thing was just fascinating to me. I actually read each issue a couple times.
Damn. That's
So if you're an Alien fan, find that, because that thing is cool as hell.
super bad. Have you been watching anything spooky lately? Any new spooky shows? I know we got Halloween coming up.
I started
watching a lot
watching
of
something
alien
called Monsterland on Hulu. I felt like it was going to be spooky, but it was really just depressing. And Netflix has The Haunting of Bly House, which that's not bad. That one's been pretty good. Nothing is better than The Boys right now. If you haven't seen The Boys, that's the best shit streaming.
I just finally started. I'm like episode 4 in season 1. I'm finally making time to do that when the lady falls asleep. That's what I've been popping on. I got some catching up to do, but I'm into it. I see a lot of great things. I was like, you know what? It's time for me to watch The Boys. Got to do it. Got to do it.
And as far as creepy shit, the Lovecraft country was pretty good and creepy, but it got really confusing, and I don't know what the hell's going on. I like it, but I'm extremely lost. But it's one of those. It's one of those where you got to pay. Either I have missed something, and I feel like I've been paying attention, but it's really good, but at the same time, it's confusing as hell. That's Lovecraft country.
That's how that show Dark was for me with the time travel. Is that I'm thinking it was Dark, right? Is that what it's called? Do you see that one? It's like very heavy to follow. I'm actually going to take notes. I'm going to restart and have to take notes, but
I don't know that one.
It's a pretty good one. I recommend it. It's a recommended.
Highway to Helms. It's Highway, the number 2, Helms. That's the podcast. Search it on iTunes, Spotify, all of those. Other than that, ShaneHelms.com is my handle on pretty much everything social media related. So, and I'm on there all the time. Anything you need to know, just buzz in. I'm there.
You heard it first. I got to thank you one more time from the bottom of my heart for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back with our in-ring promo battle and, of course, our giveaway brought to you by Pro Wrestling Tees. Don't go anywhere. Hit that follow button right now. Hit it. Here we go. Okay. Scooch, bring up the promo number 1, dude. You guys are going to vote. You, the chat, are going to vote on who is promo master. Okay, filmed up. I asked to film sideways, so already. What is this? Stream recorded? Oh, this should be great.
Big MF goes. People are asking me, who is the Ziggy Dice gonna pick for the best promo? Well, the answer to that question is simple. It's right here. It's Big MF. Because every time I step into a room, you could cut the electricity with a knife because all the ladies want to know what it's like to get manhandled by an Incredible Hulk. They want to know what it's like to put their hands on a savage Wolverine. It's okay, ladies. You don't have to be ashamed. I'm not gonna tell anybody, but they know, because every time they look into your eyes, they see the way you look at me. And every time I step into a building, the testosterone levels get lower and lower and lower. They feel like they just don't measure up. Well, you don't. Because there's only one Big MF. Nobody spits more fire and can back it up like me, because I'll smoke 2 packs a day. I'll drink a 12-pack every night. I'll drink a 5th of JD, and I'll still whip your ass and take your wife. Because everything I have, you just ain't got. Because I'm Big MF, and you're not.
All right, dude. Big MF getting a text message at the end of the promo, dude, with the screen record up and down. Okay, we got Big MF. All right. The rule number 1 is filming sideways. Big MF did smoking 2 packs a day. JD and stealing my wife. Hopefully not my wife. I get married this Saturday, dude. Oh my god. Okay. Contestant number 1, Scooch. Bring our contestant number 2 for this week's promo battle. God.
Greetings, devoted Twitch patrons. For those of you uncultured swine unfamiliar with who I am the method of madness, the sovereign of the stage, the thespian, J.S. Hawthorne. First and foremost, I would like to thank Monsieur Dice for this opportunity to perform. Secondly, I'd like to clarify a point. The casual observer has mentioned that I am merely an actor. and not a professional wrestler. What they fail to realize is that theater and professional wrestling are one and the same. I am theater, therefore I am professional. I am the lights under which you stand. I am the music to which you dance. I am the stage on which you perform. I am the emotion you feel as I rip the sinew from your bones. With that little point cleared up, I shall bid you all adieu, for all the world is my stage, and all the men and women merely wrestlers.
Man, tough choice this week. It's a tough choice this cycle. I'm at a loss. Oh, God. MF? Are we voting MF this week, dude? Is MF? I think MF is MF our winner, dude? Scooch! Ring the bell! MF is the winner! We're gonna rate Effie right now with all of these viewers, dude. Last call to hit that follow button, baby. Thank you to Twitch Sports. I've been Outlandish Zicky Dice. This is Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Hit that follow button. Love you guys all so much. I'll catch you next time.